What's going on, guys, and welcome to my review of the Mizuno Wave Rebellion 2s. So here they are. And why am I making this review? Well, first of all, let me show you this shirt. It's for the Brita Night Run, which I just did less than 24 hours ago, last night. And this was the first time I raced in these shoes. So I got these shoes on Facebook Marketplace, used for $120 Canadian, even though they sell for $300. And the seller had barely used them. I've already used these shoes for 22 kilometers. And when I run in these shoes, it's only at a high pace. So that does wear them quite a bit. However, they're still in excellent condition. And let's begin with some details. So first of all, these are 9.5. And I know that the size 8s are around 8 ounces, so they're extremely light shoes. And you can tell how light they are simply by the upper, which is extremely thin. And you should notice pink showing across the seams. I'm not sure how well it shows on the camera, but in real life it is possible to see because the sole is pink. So the upper is extremely thin, and for this reason, you can see through it. So whenever you're wearing your socks, they're visible. Of course, there's also the carbon plate, which is insane. So the carbon plate is visible here, as well as in the entire under section of the exterior. And this carbon plate is what provides the spring you need to establish PRs. That's how this shoe is branded. And even for me, I got a PR. I did 10 kilometers in 40 minutes and 30 seconds yesterday. And it also has insane midsole, which you can see is biased towards the front. So your foot is naturally pointing forwards since you're only using these in a fast running situation. I'd only recommend these to people running, I would say, above or lower than 4 minutes or 4 minutes 10 seconds per kilometer, since they're not meant for slow runs or zone 2 training. You can also see here, there's something called Mizuno Smooth Speed Assist. I have no idea what that is. And also Mizuno Energy Light. I think that's the difference, however, between the two midsole layers. So there is the first layer here, which is one material, and the second layer, which is the Smooth Speed Assist, the second layer, if I'm not mistaken. And one thing I gotta say is going downhill on these shoes is a dream because there's so much cushion and response. When you go downhill, it's like you're flying, honestly. Because with some shoes that have a thinner midsole, you can start bottoming out on a downhill because you're putting so much force and the midsole is just not strong enough. But this one, you can tell by the thickness, it just springs and you're literally flying downhill. So that was the best part of the race for me. I'd also like to highlight, it's a very thin outsole, and that means it's not that durable. However, if you only use these for races, then it shouldn't wear for a really long time. Otherwise, what can I say? There is a extremely low amount of support on the heel compared to the midsole and the ball of your foot. Once again, because you don't heel strike when you're running that fast, really. So if you're a heel striker, then probably don't buy the shoe. And lastly, because of its lightness, there's very minimal support on the ankle. So you can see this ankle just folds easily. There is some padding here, which is visible. So you can see we have this padding on one side and on the other. However, you need to be careful when you take turns in these shoes if you're running at a high speed, since it is very high off the ground, of course, and the ankle support is extremely weak intentionally, and therefore you should take longer turns when using these shoes in a race. I also really like the lacings on these. They might just be standard laces, but when I tighten them, I feel like I'm locked in. And it's all just extremely light, it's fast, and I cannot recommend these shoes more. I would never buy them for $300, but since I did get a nice deal on them, it was incredible. There's also some coordinates on the end. I'm not sure where that is. However, if you want to go search that up, then please do. I also like the color combination. It's very clean white. And I was running mostly on paved surfaces the entire time, but even so, it's very clean still. So I think the fact that this kind of plastic mesh here is so light and high tech, it doesn't really absorb a lot of dirt. Whereas if you had like a fabric type of upper, then it might get dirty faster. So yeah, that's it for the shoe. I'm gonna definitely be doing more races in them. I think this will last me many, many years as my race shoe. And if you have any questions about them, then please ask me. I'll be happy to answer.